Good morning, fellow Toastmaster and distinguished guests. I am Akash Saurabh and I am taking the role of Surgeon at Arms and Zoom Master of today's meeting. A warm welcome to all of you for 46 Mumbai Speakers Club meetings. And I will start the day with the mission statement of the Toastmaster Club. That is, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, which help in greater self-confidence and leadership skills. There are three ground rules that has to adhere to in the Toastmaster meeting. The first one is that please switch off your mobile phone or put them in silent mode. The second one is we do not talk about three topics, that is sex, religion, and politics. The later one or the last one is that please do not cross talk during the meeting. Additionally, we are following some guidelines as we are conducting virtual meeting instead of physical meeting. The first one is that rename yourself. For example, you can role_name in case you are taking the role, Toastmaster_name in case you haven't participated for any role, and if you are guest, then guest_name. Please do not post anything while the speaker is speaking, because it will create disturbance to the speaker. Do not click on the share screen unless the speaker or the role requires you to do so. Use reaction button for applause or appreciations. For that, you can click on the reaction button tab, which is shown in the bottom of your Zoom app or Zoom browser. For applause, you can just clap your hand, or you can use reaction button in which the clap option is mentioned. Before starting the speech, I would request all the speakers to please click audio and video check and also check your timer card before starting your speech. You can display hi-fi and namaste while taking or leaving the role. You can connect with any technical glitch for me as I am the Zoom master for today's meeting. The meeting is being recorded. If you have any kind of reservation or issues before your speech, you can connect with me. I will post this recording. Now I would like to call one of the member or founder member of our club. She is a president of our club. She is a humble, a mentor and leader. Over to you, Toastmaster Sudha ma'am, as presiding officer of today's meeting.
Good morning, everyone. How are you feeling today? Charged up?
Ecstatic.
Not any response.
Happy.
Happy? Yeah.
Charged up.
Absolutely. I am definitely charged up and looking forward to an exciting meeting. There have been a big change in certain people's dress codes. That itself is a good beginning to today's meeting. So good morning, everyone. I hope you're feeling bright and sprightly, had your breakfast, and rested now to enjoy this beautiful meeting that we are going to encounter. So what is it that today everybody in Toastmasters is talking about? Can somebody tell me?
Contests.
Yes. So I think everybody knows that Toastmasters is going to have their contest season, which is going to happen very soon. So I'll just probably touch on few things about Toastmasters contests. So Toastmasters anyway gives us a platform to learn, to come and deliver your your prepared speeches. It also gives you an opportunity to see how you can contest with people, not only in your clubs, but in the area, in the division and in the district. Now, why is it's important for us all to participate in a speech contest? Now, the contest preparation itself is a big, humongous task. That is something we will come to know about it, because this time I'm going to be involving a lot of our own club members to become a part of the contest team. The reason being that we have grown now to a size. Earlier, we used to only have the contestants itself would be the people who is going to be there, but we have now so many newcomers, enthusiastic, passionate Toastmasters whom I definitely want to give an opportunity to be visible, to gain their experience. Now, why is it important? Because Toastmasters does it in a very professional and perfect style. You go to any club, anywhere in the world, if it is about contest, they follow the same rules. And you really feel that you are in a serious business. So if you are not even participating as a contest and being a role player is also going to be a humongous experience for all of us. So take and grab these opportunities. Make sure that you take every opportunity, may it be a chief judge, maybe a voting judge, maybe a timer, or a Zoom master for any clubs. There are so many clubs which will be having these contests. There will be reach out and shout outs being given to people to see if you have anyone to sponsor. I mean, if anybody wants to participate, go ahead and embrace those chances. Because I personally think the preparation that you do for a contest, finally, when you come out of the contest, you definitely have grown. Even if it's this much, you definitely have grown. The exposure that you have is amazing. If you have become a contestant, then it's another experience, because the whole atmosphere of the the judiciousness of the contest makes you realize how important it is for you to put in that extra effort to give your best. And once you've put in that extra effort, it's not about winning and losing. You are a different person when you come out. So please grab that opportunity and make sure that you become a part of the team who's preparing for the contest, or maybe even a person who's participating. So you have two of them this time. There will be international speech contest and table topics contest. International speech contest, unfortunately, is only for people who have completed level 2. So that's why we wanted to shoot that questionnaire around to see that if anybody wants to pace up their level 2 completion, we are ready to do that for you. Otherwise, people who have completed will be eligible, and that's for ISC. TT, anybody can participate. And I've also made sure that people who don't get a participation for ISC, we will give them an opportunity after the contest. Deep and I have discussed that, which is for a tall tales contest. Now that is going to be another fun event, which is not really going to go to the district and division level, but I think it will be a good exposure for all of us to have. And we have some amazing creative people amongst us. So tall tales is for those people. And Joy, you're definitely one of them. I've already seen you being very good at this, and we all need to probably take a part in this. So that's one element of the contest. So please go ahead and grab those opportunities. That was my message today. Now we move on with the proceedings of the meeting. Let me look around and see if there are any guests. Tanvi is no longer a guest. She's a part of the team now. And Sachin has come after a long time. Sachin, what happened? What kept you away for so long? Everything okay? And are you excited to come back?
Yes, actually, I'm glad to see you all back. Like, I'm feeling that I'm back to home. So there was some family functions and all, and so I'm at village, so has to give more attention to those relatives and everything. So was a bit away from that, but glad to have back to home. Yeah,
No
thank you.
worries. Thank you. We are also very excited to have you back. Now, with that, let me proceed with the proceedings of the meeting. We have our Toastmaster of the day. Now, what is it that we can tell about the Toastmaster of the day? He is one person who is, I always said that he's omnipresent. He is there everywhere. So I finish giving him a TMoD and I probably go back and then he comes up with another role which he takes up. So it's very difficult. I get confused. Which role should I be introducing him on? But today, I think he has a very unique message and definitely a unique suit which he's wearing today, which the mystery of which is going to unfold very soon. So without much ado, let me hand over the stage to the Toastmaster of the day, RVP Education, Toastmaster Deep.
Thank you so much, presiding officers, Toastmaster Sudha. A very good morning to one and all present here. Are you all excited to play a wonderful game today?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So for the benefit of the guests, I'll spell out the rules of the game. But before doing so, let me present my screen. Just 1 second. I forgot to share sound. Yes. Can you see the screen? So today, all of us will be playing the game Who Wants to Be a Patriot-illionaire? Now, this game will be played by all the role players and members of Mumbai Speakers Toastmasters Club. In this game, I will ask you 14 questions. And because Toastmasters is a non-profit organization, we will not have money, but we will have Toastmaster wishes as the credit that all of us will win. In case you don't know the answer, there are 4 lifelines that you can use. The first one right here is ask the host. That's me. The second one is Google. So I will switch the screen to Google, but you are only allowed to Google 5 words or less. And without going into either of the links, if you get the answer, you get the answer. If you don't, you don't. So there is a catch to it. The third option everyone knows is 50-50. And the fourth option is reuse one of the previous lifelines. So without further ado, let us begin. Now, while the structure of the meeting for the guests, we will start by the tag team. I will have each of the tag role players come. I will ask them the questions. Then they will explain about their roles. Then we will have all the prepared speakers come. Then we will have the table topic session. And at the end, the general evaluation section. And all the role players will get 1 question. So wish you all the best. And without further ado, let me invite the first tag role player, who is none other than the timer for the day. May I request the Zoom master to please spotlight the timer. Hi, Rishikesh.
Hi.
So your question is, which Indian fighter pilot was awarded with the Veer Chakra by the Indian government for downing a Pakistani Air Force F-16 with his MiG-21 Bison? Option A, Wing Commander K.K. Majumdar. Option B, Air Chief Marshal Lakshman Khatre. Option C, Air Chief Marshal Dilbagh Singh. Or option D, Group Captain Abhinandan.
Is it D, Group Captain Abhinandan Vardhaman?
Would you like to lock option D?
Yeah.
Okay, computer G, please lock option D. We have won 500 Toastmaster wishes. Can we have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Rishikesh? Okay, Toastmaster Rishikesh, can you tell us a little more about your role today?
So, hello Deep and everyone. As timer, I will be helping speakers to evaluate, express their thoughts within the allotted time limits. My duty is to time the prepared speeches as of now. To help me in performing my role, I will have a 3 set of color cards. The green card indicating the qualifying time for the speech, the yellow card indicating the target time, the red card indicating the maximum time. For an icebreaker speech, I will show the green card at 4 minutes, the yellow card at 5 minutes, and the red card at 6 minutes. Likewise, for the 5 to 7 minutes prepared speeches, I will show the green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, and red card at 7 minutes. At the end of the prepared speeches, each one, for the prepared speeches, we have a grace period of 30 seconds on either side of the time limit. Once the prepared speeches are completed, I will present the timing reports when they are called upon by the Toastmaster of the day. That's all from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster Deep. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rishikesh. Now, let us look where we are in terms of the wishes board. I forgot to share sound once again. Let me share the sound. Yes. So Group Captain Abhinandan was born 21st June 1983, is an Indian Air Force fighter pilot who during the 2019 Pakistan standoff put his life on the line and shot down an F-16 jet while taking a direct missile hit in the aerial dogfight. He was awarded with the Veer Chakra by the Indian government and was promoted to the group captain. Okay, so now let's go on to the second question. And for the second question, let me invite the second tag role player for the day, the R counter, Toastmaster Walter. Can we have Toastmaster Walter on spotlight, please? Hi, Walter. How are you? I think.
Hey, hi. Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the second question for 100 Toastmaster wishes, Toastmaster Walter, for you is on your screen now. The only cricketer in the world who has scored 100 hundreds and 200 runs in a one-day international game. Option A, Sachin Tendulkar. Option B, Brian Lara. Option C, Sir Vivian Richards. Or option D, Don Bradman.
A. Answer is A.
Computer Ji, can we lock option A, Sachin Tendulkar? That is indeed the correct answer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Walter. Can you tell us something more about your role today?
Thank you, Toastmaster Deep, fellow Toastmaster and my dear guest. My role as R counter is to record unnecessary sounds used by speakers and role bearers, such as the crutch sounds like R, and ums, filler words like but, like, so, okay, and filler phrases, you know, and so, etc., and extremely long pauses. The crutch words or filler sounds obstruct the smooth flow of speech, can be annoying to the listeners, at the same time decreasing the value of the speech. However, a speaker is not aware, many times speaker is not aware of all these things. Therefore, as an R counter, my duty is to note these words and phrases in order to help the speaker, make them aware of them and minimize the use of these words and phrases in the futures. I will present the R counter report when called upon by general evaluator at the end of the meeting. That's it from me. Over to you, Toastmaster D.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Walter. Indeed, the crutch words can be avoided, and we trust that you will help us today to avoid all the crutch words today as well in the future. Now, moving ahead, let us see, hear a little more about Sachin Tendulkar. So, Sachin Tendulkar had his debut in 1989, played 664 international cricket matches over a career spanning 2 decades. He holds various records, including the only player to have scored the 100 international centuries and the very first batsman to score a double 100 in a one-day cricket, and has completed more than 34,000 runs in both ODI and Test cricket. So going back to the wish board, where are we? Oopsie. So before going ahead, let me call the final role player for the day. The final role player for the day will be the grammarian. Zoom master, please, can we have the grammarian on the spotlight? Yes. Hi, Jubin, how are you?
Good morning, Deep. Doing good.
Okay, so the question for you is on your screen now. Who was the scientific advisor to the Defense Ministry, the Secretary to the Department of Defense Research and Development, and the Director General of Defense and Research, and served as the 11th President of India from 2002 until 2007?
So with option
A.
B,
Homi Baba, B. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, C. Albert Einstein, or D. Ramanujan?
option B.
Option B, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Final answer. Computer Ji, can we please lock option B, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam? That is indeed the correct answer. Okay, Toastmaster Jubin, can you tell us a little more about your role today?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Deep. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, as grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers coming up on the virtual stage, where I will be taking note of any good and not so good usages of grammar. In addition to this, one of the challenges I have faced when preparing my speeches is the transition between sentences, where I use the word and a lot. So today I will be listening in closely for these transitions made by our prepared speakers. In addition to this, as grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word is myopic. Let me just share my screen. Myopic in ophthalmology, pertaining to or having myopia, nearsighted. It also means unable or unwilling to act prudently, being short-sighted, or lacking tolerance or understanding, being narrow-minded. A few uses in a sentence would be, the corrective eye surgery has been approved for myopic patients. A second example, the citizens thought the mayor was being myopic when he suggested building a casino will create jobs. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. The audience is requested to show a silent thumbs up whenever a speaker uses this in the right context. I will present my report when called upon by the general evaluator at the end of the meeting. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jubin. And certainly, without the use of correct grammar, each speaker will be deemed nothing short of being myopic. With that, let us move to the first segment, which is the prepared speech segment. Today, we have a round of 4 prepared speeches. And to start off, we have Toastmaster Engelbert Gonzalez. To read out the objective of Toastmaster Engelbert's speech, may I please invite Toastmaster Glenn on the stage for a question. Toastmaster Glenn, yes, we have you on spotlight.
Hey, hi, Deep.
Okay, Toastmaster Glenn. Before going to the next question, let us read a little more about Dr. Kalam. He was an aerospace and defense scientist, was involved in the development of India's first satellite program. He launched several SLVs and was the architect of the Integrated Guided Missile Program. Worked for the Indian National Committee of Space, Indian Space Research, Defense Research and Development, and was appointed as the scientific advisor and the Secretary to Defense, and also served as the 11th President of India from 2002 to 2007. So now, third question answered. Question 4. So Toastmaster Glenn, question 4 for 3,000 Toastmaster wishes. On your screen now. The first Indian woman to win 2 consecutive gold medals at the Olympic Games in badminton. And someone who also has won the Padma Bhushan. Option A, PV Sindhu. Option B, Tania Mirza. Option C, Mithali Raj. Or is it option D, Geeta Phogat?
Yeah, I'm confused with this. Can I become a friend?
You have 4 lifelines. The first is Ask a Host, which is me. Second is Google 5 words, in which I will present the screen. The third is 50-50. And the fourth is Repeat a lifeline, which you will not be able to use because you never use the lifeline. So which one of the 3?
50-50.
50-50. So because of technical glitches, let's eliminate option B and option C. So now you have option A, PV Sindhu, and option D, Geeta Phogat. You are on mute.
What are the options?
Option A, PV Sindhu, and option D, Geeta Phogat.
I'll go with Sindhu. I'm not sure about it. But I'll go with
Computer G, can we please lock option A, PV Sindhu? Why did you go with option A, if I may ask?
Not. I think that name's very familiar with badminton. I'm not really a badminton fan as such. So I don't really follow badminton closely. But that's one of the reasons why.
Computer G, can we lock option A, PV Sindhu, please? That is indeed the correct answer. Congratulations, Toastmaster Glenn. Can you tell us the objectives of Toastmaster Engelbert's speech? Over to you, Toastmaster Glenn.
My speaker today, Toastmaster Engelbert, will be presenting a speech on any topic of his choice. He's basically doing level 1, project 1, right? And I'll be providing him with some feedback, which he will be implementing in part 2 of this particular project. So all the best to you, Engelbert, and look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Glenn. Toastmaster Engelbert, can we have you on the spotlight, please? Hi, Toastmaster Engelbert. How are you?
Very good. Fantastic.
Yes. So before moving a little bit more about PV Sindhu. So Pusarla Venkata Sindhu is an Indian badminton player, considered one of the most successful sportsmen. She has won several medals at various international tournaments, including the Olympics, and on the BWF circuit, including the gold at 2019 World Championship. She is the first and the only Indian to become the badminton world champion and only second athlete from India to win 2 consecutive medals. So now we are at question 5. After this is a safe level. You will at least take 5,000 Toastmaster wishes. So Toastmaster Engelbert, question 5 for 5,000 wishes for you on the screen right now. Which amongst the following was the first Indian Army officer to be promoted to the post of Field Marshal, having liberated Bangladesh in the 1971 Indo-Pakistan War? Option A, Field Marshal J.M. Karyappa. Option B, Field Marshal Arthur Weasley. Option C, Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw. Or option D, Field Marshal Douglas MacArthur.
What lifeline I have?
You can Google it, or you have asked the host.
Okay, I'll ask the host only. The easiest.
Okay. So can we indicate ask the host? We cannot, but let us assume the ask the host is indicated. For those of you wondering if this is a scam, my mobile is not with me, my hands are in the air. I have presented the screen, I don't have to speak. So in 1971 Indo-Pak War, I am certain Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw was the one who was the chief of army staff back then, and he was vital in planning the attack and liberation of Bangladesh. So I think it's option C. You can go ahead with that.
Yeah, please. We'll go for the C. Yeah.
Okay, Computer G, can we lock option C, Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw? Well done, Toastmaster Engelbert. So, without further ado, let us continue with the proceedings of the meeting. Toastmaster Engelbert is going to give his speech, that is level 1, project 2. Timer, can we have the timer on spotlight as well? Toastmaster Rishikesh? Yes. Toastmaster Engelbert, can you see the timer?
Yeah.
Okay. Toastmaster Engelbert, get, set, go. Get, set, go. Toastmaster Engelbert, over to you.
Every journey begins with a single step. My topic is get, set, go. So even before I make up my mind that I have to be a part of Toastmasters, always there are many thoughts whether should I come, should I not come, should I join and not join. I'm sure all of you have gone through this phase. Some of you have crossed this phase. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guest. As you know, my topic is get, set, go. So I will be focusing on two main steps of taking the first step in any decision making or any achieving goal. First is the thought level, that which we already spoke. I gave a little hint about that is in the mind itself. We are so used to thinking average, thinking small. And today we saw a lovely example of Deep. He broke all the myopia, of the steady, way of introducing, and how he came up with such a bang that even when you take his name Deep, all are smiling. So that itself, it speaks that everything starts first with the thought, and then starts with the second aspect which I'm going to speak is the action. Not only the ideas and imagination, but also the effort. If you go to see, Deep is the only one who's worn the coat, taken the efforts to dress tip top. I was so convinced just 10 minutes back I was wearing normal t-shirt, but looking at him, I changed. So that shows action speaks louder than words. And that exactly my topic today is to get, set, go. Being born in a middle class family and being used to thinking of average, like just okay, if I pass it's more than enough, like we would celebrate if I would pass every year in my during my school days. So I was used to that thought, and so that same thing carried in even in my career. So I would just do anything just to get a job or any small job. I would just be continued. I was so glued to that thought of being like myopia kind of a, I think this word was introduced today, grammarian. Thanks to the grammarian, it really suits to my topic today. So it remembered almost 11 years back when I was working for an IT company. I got a call from a consultancy saying that would you like to apply for a MNC. Initially I said yes, and he fixed the appointment, but immediately I said no, I think I'm not ready, please cancel it. So forget of even applying, even thinking that I can do it itself was a big problem. So the first step I did not take here. So it took almost 5 years of introspection, watching a lot of motivational videos, reading books, and a lot of counseling that helped me slowly come out of that average and think big. Understand what actually do you mean by think big. And that's where in the same company I applied, and luckily they called me for an interview. And so it was a Saturday, and the best, the thing, as soon as I opened the auditorium, I thought that God is really joking with me, because there were more than 250 people, with formals and all ready with their CV. So I thought, is this a joke? Like, I'm coming after 5 years to apply here, and there are like 250 in the auditorium. Where do I stand a chance? And here I am just coming out of my pond, so it's like frog going back to the pond. So I said, any which ways, I spent 1 hour in reaching here. So let's go ahead. Slowly, as the day progressed, in around 6 hours from that time, we were the lucky five who got chosen, who got selected. And I just couldn't believe. So I thought, like, if 5 years back I would have said yes to that offer, probably, or yes to that interview, probably I would have not wasted my 5 years in a smaller company, or probably now obviously I will reason that everything happens for a good. So the first thing is we need to think, at least take a step of at least thinking big, even if it is foolish, or even if it seems to be impossible, or even if we are going to fail in our action stage. So first thing is we have to take the first step of at least thinking big, thinking impossible. The second aspect which I'm going to talk about is the action. Now we thought about talking, thinking. Now we're going to speak about how we are going to do the action. So being into service oriented and charity oriented, I always wanted to do good service to others, to my neighbors, to everything. But then either I didn't find the time, or I didn't find the platform or the right person. And it was around 2.5 years back when I met a stranger called Siddharth, who currently happens to be my bestie, where he had the vision of ensuring that within our neighborhood there would be nobody who's going to sleep hunger or hungry. And all he expected from me was just be with him. So we would go in the car feeding people. Then we all had a lot of volunteers and all. My only contribution would, I would sit in the car and just talk to him and help him out. And that rubbed off so much that I started volunteering. I started opening my house for packing the food, and many other things. We would spend our weekends till midnight searching the places where they need food. We would distribute, and that has brought a lot of change in my personality, in the way I think. Like, the best change what I can see is now I avoid wasting food, especially when I go for weddings and parties. The wastage of food would always be there, but now I think there would be so many hungry people who would be who are dying to even see the food, forget of get the food. And that small change, that small step of helping somebody has brought a lot of change within me. They rightly say that if you want to see whether the tree is good or bad, you can see the fruits. And I have a 5-year-old daughter. I can see how she's sensitive to the needy. When she sees somebody, she shares. For her, the treasure is obviously toys and chocolates. When she sees somebody poor, she goes and gives. Or the watchman, or anybody, any security guard, or the driver, or anyone, she would always say, okay, give my biscuit to, I think the driver must be poor, so give it. So it's a very good thing, the change which has brought. So I would like to end my speech by saying, get set, go. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Engelbert. Can we have a thunderous round of applause for Toastmaster Engelbert? Okay, before going out of the spotlight, Toastmaster Engelbert, as per the tradition, I would like to share something more about Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw. Field Marshal Sam Hormuzji Framji Jamshedji Manekshaw, MC, widely known as Sam Manekshaw or Sam Bahadur, was the first Chief of Army Staff of the Indian Army during the Indo-Pakistan War, and the first army officer to be promoted to the rank of Field Marshal. And also, while liberating Bangladesh, he had pressure from the United States and nuclear threats with the 7th Fleet. But despite that, he had the iron nerves to do the right thing and liberate Pakistan out of the clutches of slavery. So thank you so much, Engelbert. All the best for your future speeches. Now, the second speaker for the day is someone who is opening her bank account with Mumbai Speakers Toastmasters Club, is none other than Toastmaster Mugdha. And to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Mugdha, we have Toastmaster Vishal Mehta. Zoom Master, can we please have Toastmaster Vishal Mehta on spotlight? Thank you. Hi, Toastmaster Vishal. How are you today?
Pretty good, Toastmaster of the day.
That's good. So let us look at the wish screen where we are and how are we doing. So we have completed 5 questions. First safety done. So now, question number 6 for 7,000 Toastmaster wishes. To you, Toastmaster Vishal Mehta, on your screen now. The Iron Man of India, whose birthday is celebrated as the National Unity Day or Rashtriya Ekta Divas. Also the person to whom the tallest statue in the world is dedicated. Option A, Sardar Patel. Option B, Mahatma Gandhi. Option C, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Or is it option D, Jawaharlal Nehru?
I think it could be Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, or maybe it's Mahatma Gandhi. I think I'll take a risk. I'll go with Sardar Patel. Option A.
Final answer. Option
Final
A.
answer. Please lock it.
Do you know they are making a statue on Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj just out of the coast of Mumbai? And it could very well be the tallest statue. And he was also known for this. But today you are absolutely correct. Sardar Patel is the right answer. Okay, Toastmaster Vishal, can you please share the objectives of Toastmaster Mugda's speech? Over to you, Toastmaster Vishal.
Sure. So my speaker, Toastmaster Mugda's first speech, which is also called the icebreaker speech, it's level 1, project 1. The pathway is strategic relationship. And the purpose of this project is for the member to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of public speech. So with this, I wish my speaker Mugda all the very best. And yeah, back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vishal. Zoom Master, can we please have Toastmaster Mugda on spotlight? Thank you. Hi, Mugda, how are you?
Hi, Toastmaster Deep, I'm good.
Okay. So before moving forward, as the tradition goes, I would like to highlight a little bit more about Sardar Patel. So, Sardar Patel is the one whose birthday is celebrated as the National Unity Day, because during his term as the Home Minister, he is credited for integration of 550 independent princely states into India from 1947 to 1949, also known as the Bismarck of India. And the celebration is complemented by the speech of Prime Minister of India, followed by the Run of Unity, and also the Statue of Unity, which stands 182 meters tall. So let us look at the wish board. Where are we? So we take 6 questions, and the 7th question for 10,000 Toastmaster wishes for you, Toastmaster Mugda, on your screen right now. Who is the only captain in cricket to win all 3 ICC trophies? Option A, is it Saurav Ganguly? Option B, Kapil Dev? Option C, Virat Kohli? Or is it option D, MS Dhoni?
I think it's option D, MS Dhoni.
Final answer, option D. Should I lock it?
Yeah.
Okay, computer ji, can we lock option D, Mahendra Singh Dhoni? And indeed is the correct answer. Can we have a round of applause for Toastmaster Mugda? Okay, so Toastmaster Mugda is going to give her icebreaker speech. May I please request the Zoom Master to spotlight the timer for the day? Zoom Master, can we please spotlight the timer? Okay.
Just
Toastmaster
one small
Mugda?
thing to add. Sorry, for the timer, this is the icebreaker. So the time limit for this speech is 4 to 6 minutes. Yep. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Timer, please note the time limit is 4 to 6 minutes. Okay. Toastmaster Mugda, undiscovered self. Undiscovered self, Toastmaster Mugda. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deep, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. So, this is a small incident that took place when I was in standard 6. It was the end of the last period, and all of us were packing our bags and standing and making a line outside the class to leave for our respective buses to home. So our class teacher was in the class assembling her books. But my friends Isha, Dhruvil, and I were still in the class. We were busy with our talks. So suddenly the teacher came to our class teacher Archana ma'am. She came to us and asked us to hurry up so we don't miss the bus. Suddenly Dhruvil complains to ma'am that ma'am Mugdha was beating me. I got very scared because never before anybody has ever complained about me. So Archana ma'am was shocked at first, and then she started laughing and she said, um, Mugdha would never do this. She's the most innocent girl in the class. Um, Dhruva looked at me with anger, and he was again at the same time he was helpless because he knew I wouldn't believe him. I was standing there making an innocent face, but guilt in my eyes. So this is how I come across people as a very shy and silent girl. Then even my parents. So every parents teacher meeting that is held, everybody they hear the same thing, that she's a brilliant student but she would never speak in the class. So so I so this is how I'm still discovering that why I can talk endlessly in front of some people, and then I go all silent in front of others. So yeah, introducing myself. I was born and brought up in Surat. I was in Surat, Gujarat. I was there for 16 years. My hometown is Delhi, so both my parents are from Delhi. So we used to go there every month, every year for a month. Then I shifted to Rasaini. It's an industrial area near Panvel. I shifted there 5 years back. So I've been to many of the states, and that's where my love for food grew. I love I love Gujarati food. I love Punjabi food and all kinds of food. So yeah, uh, I also to speak about my hobbies. And the things I like. I like to sing a lot. Then I like playing badminton. I like watching series and watching movies. And yeah, so Uh, so when I shifted to Mumbai for my college, I was in my first year. I didn't realize that this nature could be a problem. I noticed that people around me were so confident. They were outspoken. They would never miss any opportunity to speak, to take part in class debates, and take part in all the debates, in all the events that were held in our college. So I realized that I need to work on that too. So I joined a club in the college. I didn't take part in the activities that were in the club, but then I took part in the projects. So one of the projects included going to included teaching in an NGO. So I did that, and I taught science to fifth standard students for 2 months, and I really enjoyed it. Then after coming back to my hometown in a vacation, I I uh, I joined an NGO where I was supposed to. I visited 3 tribal areas. In the tribal areas, I surveyed the dropout students, that why they stopped going to schools. Then I taught, even I went to tribal schools and taught the children. Then uh, I supported the HIV/AIDS patients. I I held campaigns about educated the tribal children and supporting girl childs. So it was so this so taking part in all of these gave me many insights about life, and how there are different people, and how we should help them. So again, the college taught me many things to take part in such things, and it made me realize that what I was missing in life. Finally, in November, in lockdown, when I was getting comfortable with Mumbai and its people, and I was just getting comfortable with college, lockdown happened, and then I was back at home. So in the lockdown, I realized that I need to work on this communication skills, because soon there will my placements will start when I will be in my third year. So yeah, so I that time I didn't know about Toastmasters, so I was working on myself. I did a lot of courses. and for time pass I did I played with my friends, I watched series and a lot of other things. So in November, finally in November, our college reopened, and I'm here living with my sister in Mumbai. So it's the placement season. I'm in my final year. So for the last 3-4 months, I've been really stressed out about that. So that's when my sister suggested that I should join Toastmasters to boost my confidence and enhance my communication skills. So I'm doing that, and finally, just day before yesterday, I got placed in a company. It is not the role or the company I wished for, but I believe it's a good start. And like this, and I think life is a journey. I'm still discovering myself, and everything's good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mukta. And as it always happens in the typical Toastmasters fashion, can we please try if we can stand up, else unmute ourselves and give a huge round of applause to Toastmaster Mukta for completing her icebreaker speech.
Great.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mukta. And before you go, as per the Who Wants to Be a Patriot-illionaire tradition, I would like to share a little bit more about Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So Mahendra Singh Dhoni is the former international cricketer who captained the Indian national cricket team from 2007 to 2017 and the Test cricket from 2008 to 2014. He's also currently the captain of Chennai Super Kings. He has won the triple ICC Limited Oval tournament as a captain. The 2007 ICC World T20, 2011 World Cup, and the 2013 ICC Champions Trophy. And he has brought the Indian cricket team to position 1, also in the Test rankings. He's also the second most successful IPL captain, just because last time Rohit Sharma won otherwise he was the most successful captain in the IPL as well. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Mukta, and I wish you the very best of luck. So moving ahead, the next speaker that we have today is Toastmaster Ritik. And to evaluate Toastmaster Ritik's speech, we have Toastmaster Anurag. So may I please request Toastmaster Anurag to be spotlighted. Thank you so much. Good morning, Toastmaster Anurag. How are you?
Morning, Toastmaster of the day, Deep. Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great as well. Okay, let me share my screen. So let us look at the wish board where we are and what is the number of wishes that you'll be playing for. So we have crossed 10,000 wishes. So the next question for 20,000 Toastmaster wishes. Are you ready, Toastmaster Anurag?
Yes, sir.
The next question, question 8, appearing on your screen now. Which hockey player has won 3 consecutive Olympic gold medals? Option A, Major Dhyan Chand. Option B, Manpreet Singh. Option C, Sohail Abbas. Or is it option D, Rick Dalton?
Major Dhyan Chand.
Do you final answer?
Rick.
Major Dhyan Chand. Final answer.
Yep.
Computer Ji, can we lock option A, Major Dhyan Chand? You seem very certain. Do you know Major Dhyan Chand?
Yeah, he was one of the best hockey player from India, and he was the first person who brought gold medal for hockey.
Yes, but 3 consecutive gold medals. Manpreet Singh would also be the one. Sohail Abbas would also be the one. By Dhyan Chand. Now that we have locked option A, Computer Ji, can we see the right answer? Absolutely, it is Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anurag. Can you now share the speech objective of Toastmaster Ritik?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Good morning, fellow Toastmaster. My speaker, Ritik Sharma, will be delivering his level 2 project 1. The purpose of his speech is for to share some aspect of his primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. All the best, Ritik. Over to you, Toastmaster Ritik.
Can I be spotlighted, please? Okay, we are having technical glitches. Can we have Toastmaster Ritik on spotlight? Okay. So Toastmaster Ritik, as the tradition goes, let me first present my screen and share a little bit more about Major Dhyan Chand. So Major Dhyan Chand was an Indian hockey field player, widely regarded as the greatest hockey player in history, and was one of the greatest players of all times, according to the Britannica Encyclopedia. He was known for his extraordinary goal scoring feats and ball control. And in addition to earning 3 Olympic gold medals in 1928, 32, and 36 consecutively, he was playing in an era where India dominated the field of hockey. And his influence extended beyond these victories as India won 7 out of 8 Olympics from 1928 to 1964. So let us look where we are in the wishes board. We have 2000 Toastmaster wishes. So Toastmaster Ritik, the next question for 30,000 Toastmaster wishes. Are you ready?
Yeah.
On your screen right now. Who is the only woman who has won the World Boxing Championship 6 consecutive times? Option A, Mary Kom. Option B, Katie Taylor. Option C, Amanda Nunes. Or is it option D, Ronda Rousey?
Deep, can I have the lifeline here?
Okay. Which lifeline would you like?
I want to use one of the previous used lifelines. So I'll go with the 50-50.
Okay. So let us have the 50-50.
Okay.
So the remaining options are option A, Mary Kom, and option C, Amanda Nunes.
Okay. So I'll go with the option A, Mary Kom.
Final answer.
Yeah, it's final.
Computer G, can we lock option A, Mary Kom, please? Indeed, it is the correct answer.
I was confused because I don't watch boxing. So.
Okay, no worries. So Toastmaster Ritik will be presenting his L2P1 speech. Can we please have the timer on spotlight as well?
Deep, can you do the quick audio and video check? Am I audible from this distance?
Yeah, absolutely, you are audible. Okay. So, without further ado, Toastmaster Ritik, leadership styles and my style. Leadership styles and my style, Toastmaster Ritik. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deep. Leadership is the capacity to translate the vision into reality. A leader makes sure that the desired outcomes of his term should fall in his favor. Let's understand from the audience who is the leader and what traits they like the most. So anyone from the audience?
The person who take initiative first and then.
Initiative, okay.
That's great.
Someone who's encouraging.
Someone who's encouraging. Okay. Innovative and encouraging.
Show the path to others.
Okay. The person who makes the vision for others. Okay.
Take best out of his team.
Best out of that team. Okay.
Yeah.
And anyone else from the team, from the meeting?
Who sets an example to others? Yeah.
Okay, who sets the examples on the others? Okay, so people are focusing on someone who can bring new ideas to the team, who can show the path to others, who can set examples in the team. So mainly there are 8 leadership styles. The first one is coaching style. The second one is democratic. Third one is authoritative. The fourth one is innovative. Fifth one is altruistic. Sixth one is affiliative. Seventh one is pace setting, and eighth one is bureaucratic. In coaching style, a leader concentrates on preparing the individuals for the future by building their skills. It's more of a coaching kind of stuff. In democratic, a leader relies on consensus decision making. So we all live in a democratic country, so we understand that how elections happen in the country. The third thing is authoritative, in which a leader provides long-term direction and focus on end goals. In innovative, a leader encourages others to innovate ideas. The fourth one is altruistic, in which leader leads in order to better serve others, which everyone likes the most. And the next is in affiliative, a leader builds relationship in the team and brings the best out of them. In pace setting, a leader focuses on productivity and get things done at a speed, at the quickest level. In the last, bureaucratic, a leader stringently establishes and enforces rules to get things done. When I did my leadership quiz on Toastmasters website, I got the results there. And the results were very surprisingly, and they are following. I got highest 23 points in coaching, democratic, and authoritative, 22 points in innovative, 21 points in altruistic, 20 points in affiliative, and last 17 points in pace setting and bureaucratic. I also strongly believe these results are near to what I also believe for me. In my own observations, I feel my top 3 styles are democratic, authoritative, and coaching. There was an instance when I was leading a team of 10 people in my college days. We were having some discussion around one topic in the conference room. In that club, we had 10 sub-clubs also. And the agenda of that meeting was we should close one of the sub-clubs in our club. So we proposed that we should close certain sub-club from that particular club. And everyone got agreed with that thing. And that sub-club was related to the juniors of the college, the youngsters, the future of the college. And the issue with that was nobody wanted to lead that club. Everyone got agreed on the table. I was the one who was opposing everyone. I said, I can compensate the seniors club, but I cannot compensate the juniors club because they are the future and they need the guidance from us. Then after discussion, the person who was leading that sub club said, I don't want to lead that later on. I said, why? He said, I want to lead the seniors club. Okay. The discussion went on and I said, okay, but I want to continue this club. So the person who is outside our club can join us. One of my friends approached me previously that I want to join this club and I want to lead this one of the sub club, but we didn't have any position to give him. Then I proposed an idea to my team. We have this person, his name was Rahul, and he said he can lead the club, sub club. Everyone started laughing because that person was not so great in skill set, but he was willing to do that. I was seeing that a fire and hunger in his eyes that he wants to do something, but everyone laughed. I was very shocked in the meeting. Why they are laughing at him? Even though he wasn't in the meeting, but I was feeling very bad. Someone might not be good as good you are, but we should respect everyone. I asked everyone, why are you laughing? They said, he cannot do that. I told them, for me, will is more important than skill set, not the skill set. Skill set can be learned. Then later, we gave that opportunity to that person and he led that club. And then after the completion of the tenure, that sub club was at the highest level in the ranking, which we used to calculate every monthly and every weekly. And everyone was shocked. They asked me later on, how did you pick him? Then I told them, I always pick two things. The person who is willing to do something, he will do something. And the second thing, I always like to take risks on the people because that is worth it. Who knows, someone's life can change by that small instance. And that was one instance which gave me a thought, what kind of leadership I have inside me. The first one is, as a leader, you should respect everyone in terms of their time, efforts, and everything. You should always treat everyone at an equal eyesight. Everyone is same. And you should always take risk on other people. I am also a person who incorporate cricket in his leadership style. For example, if I have a leadership time period of 6 months, so I'll start that as an ODI match. In the start of 10 overs, I'll be very slow and very calm, composed, slowly. I'll try to leave the in-swinger and out-swinger balls. Then, after 10 overs, what I'll do, I'll tell my batsmen to start hitting the balls, but don't take too much risk. Take a calculated risk there. And then, in the end, I'll tell them, start slowing. This is the time. I'm the more of a MS Dhoni kind of person when I'm leading someone. And as an individual, I'm more of a Kobe Bryant and Virat Kohli because we require both the things. You cannot be cool and calm, composed everywhere because that doesn't fit everywhere. I'm also trying to improve on two other leadership styles that are innovative and pace setting. Because every time you can't be like, we can do this thing in this time period, No, we want the things at the time, and it could be at a fast pace also. So those are the two things on which I'm working. How will I work? I do a weekly and monthly check on me, how things are going around me. Am I able to cope up on that? So that's my approach to improve on those two. At the last, leadership is a choice, not a position for me. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Deep Shah.
Thank you so much. Can I please, Zoom Master, can you please spotlight me and also give me the co-host rights? I feel I disconnected in the middle. Can we have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Ritik? And let's take, thank you so much, Toastmaster Ritik. And before moving ahead, as the tradition of the game is, I would like to share a little bit more about Mary Kom. So, Mangate Jungni-jang Mary Kom, I hope I said that right, is the only female boxer to have qualified for the 2012 Summer Olympics. Apologies for that. Competed in the flyweight category, winning a bronze medal. She has also been ranked as the #1 female lightweight fighter by the International Boxing Association. The first Indian female to win a gold medal in the Asian Games in South Korea, and the first Indian female boxer to win gold at the 2018 Commonwealth. The only boxer to become Asian amateur boxing champion for a record 6 times. And she also won the 51 kg gold in the President's Cup in Indonesia. Okay, thank you so much, Ritik, for that wonderful speech. And I'm sure we all learned a lot about leadership as well. Now, the final speaker for today is Toastmaster Joy. And to evaluate the speech that Toastmaster Joy will give, may I please invite Toastmaster Tanvi to read out the objectives of Toastmaster Joy's speech. Toastmaster Tanvi, can we have you on spotlight as well? Yes. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tanvi. So, we have completed 9 questions. Are you ready for question number 10?
Yes.
The second safe band. Question 10 for 50,000 Toastmaster wishes on your screen right now. Which of the following chess players has won the World Championship 5 times? Which of the following chess players won the World Championship 5 times? Option A, Vishwanathan Anand. Option B, Mikhail Tal. Option C, Max Euwe. Or is it option D, Vidit Gujarati?
Okay, I'm tempted to say Vishwanathan Anand, but I'm not too sure. But I'll go with my gut.
Final answer, option A.
Yes.
Computer Ji, can we please lock option A, Vishwanathan Anand? Indeed, it is Vishwanathan Anand. Can you now please share the objectives of Toastmaster Joy's speech? Over to you.
Yes, thank you so much. Today, Toastmaster Joy will be sharing a very interesting story. The speech title is The Unlucky Fool. He's attempting the project 2 from the level 3, the engaging humor pathway, and the time allocated is 5 to 7 minutes. As I've already mentioned, the speech title is The Unlucky Fool, and I'm sure it will not be a myopic tale. With that, all the very best for Toastmaster Joy's speech.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tanvi. Can we have Toastmaster Joy on spotlight, please? Hi, Toastmaster Joy. A very good morning to you. How are you? It's good afternoon now.
I'm good, feeling patriotic already.
Yes, that is the whole point of the game. And as the tradition goes, I would also like to ask a question. But before that, let's hear a little bit more about Vishy Anand. So Vishwanathan Vishy Anand, as his nickname goes, is an Indian chess grandmaster and a 5-time world chess champion. He became the first grandmaster from India in 1988 and is one of the few players in history who has surpassed the rating of 2800, which he achieved in 2006. And Anand defeated Alexei Shirov 6 games in a row to win the 2000 FID World Championship, which was never done before. It was usually a tie win, but he won 6 games in a row, and a title which he held until 2002. He became the undisputed champion in 2007 and defended his title against the Russian Vladimir Kramnik, Vasilin Topalov, and Boris Gelfand in 2012. So let us look at the wish board once again, where we are. So Toastmaster Joy, now moving to the top tier. The next question for 1 lakh Toastmaster wishes. Are you ready?
Yep.
Next question, question 11 for 1 lakh Toastmaster wishes on your screen right now. Who holds the current record as per the Guinness Book for the most expensive wedding in history? Who is the one who's holding the current record in the Guinness Book as the most expensive wedding in history? Is it option A, Lakshmi Mittal, option B, Donald Trump, option C, Bill Gates, or is it option D, John D. Rockefeller?
All very popular names and they're all very rich, filthy rich. But the answer, since this is all about patriotism today, the answer is A. Lakshmi Mittal.
Okay. Computer ji, can we lock option A, Lakshmi Mittal? That indeed is the right answer, Toastmaster Joy. So we Indians are also known for having the most expensive weddings in the world, as per the Guinness Book. Okay. So can we also have the timer on Spotlight as well? Zoom Master, can we have the timer on Spotlight? Thank you. Toastmaster Joy, can you see the timer?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Toastmaster Joy, the unlucky fool. The unlucky fool, Toastmaster Joy. Over to you.
So every once in a while, you come across people who don't deserve what they've got. That could be your egoistic boss who gets another promotion while you continue to slog. That could be your filthy rich neighbor who keeps showing off his new possessions. Or it could be that horrendous classmate who bullied you in school, but is now married to the girl you once liked. And then there are people who are righteous, reasonably smart, and hardworking, and they never get ahead in life. In fact, they end up getting a raw deal. How do you explain that? Karma, kismet, or divine will? I don't think it's any of that. I just think it's pure luck. Just being at the right time, at the right place. And so when things didn't go too well for me, or when they did go well, I just shrugged it off and I would blame it on good old luck. Help me to move on faster. But I guess over a period of time, my dependence on luck, it showed up in my work. I started slacking off, not worrying too much about the outcome. So at my last organization, there was this rather nice gentleman who was head of special projects. I don't want to use names, so I'll just call him by his initials, AK. Now, before he was head of special projects, AK was heading sales for the laptop division, which shut down. So he was assigned this new role called head of special projects. That's a fictional title. That's what they do when they can't assign you to a more steady role. So they relegate you to an insignificant role until you get embarrassed and you quit yourself. So the way I saw it, AK was unlucky. But there was more to that. Now, AK was in his early 40s, but he looked like he was in his mid 50s. And from whatever little I knew of him, he used to be sick most of the time. He had already undergone one major surgery that led to the removal of his voice box. He could still speak, but with a rather scruffy, hushed tone. It took some effort because he had to push the air out of his windpipe to create sound. It was tough to hear and understand him, especially if you met him for the first time. Now, AK was totally aware that the organization has no use for him, but he stuck to working on small projects with small teams and making them his success stories. And for one such project, he happened to pick me. Now, until then, being colleagues and working on the same floor, we knew of each other, but we didn't really know each other. Now, I had no interest whatsoever in any of his projects. I tried every trick in the book to avoid being part of that team, but none of them worked. So hesitatingly, I joined the team. And since this was over and above what I was already doing, I didn't really care much about the project. I was being myopic. I just did the bare minimum and made sure it moves along. Of course, AK had to make do with whatever team he had put together, and he was the one doing all the grunt work. With not enough momentum, the project was taking too long and was sucking in resources that could be used elsewhere. So the management decided to pull down the curtains. All the hard work until then went down the drain. Part of the team was sad and dejected. Few others, including me, were happy because it's over and that we no longer have to stretch. The team was going to split. So AK took turns talking to each of us, thanking us, reassuring us. And when he came to me, In his hushed voice, he said, "Joy, you have potential and you are quite capable, but I don't think you're doing enough." Now, I didn't quite like that because it came across as too judgmental. It sounded like he was trying to push the blame on me. So I snapped back saying, well, it's not like I'm not doing enough. Sometimes we're just plain unlucky. And he laughed. I was offended by his laugh. So I asked him, what's so funny? Haven't you been unlucky? To which he said, well, I'm still here, ain't I? A few months later, on the morning of December 30th, 2017, I woke up to the news of his passing. I went for his last rites. His wife was in a state of shock. His 10-year-old daughter looked scared and petrified as she watched the proceedings. His father was broke, and his mother couldn't stop beating her chest. And I kept looking at AK's face. Even in death, he looked content, like he knew it was coming. And he was grateful for whatever days he was blessed with. So we sometimes say things in the heat of the moment, things we don't mean, things we don't think through, but I didn't say that in the heat of the moment. I genuinely believed that I was unlucky, and had he asked, I would have told him exactly how. But who was I telling? I mean, here was a man who had lost his voice and could barely speak. Here was a man who survived laryngeal cancer only to be afflicted by leukemia. Here was a man who was trying to cling tightly to his job, trying to add meaning to his life, knowing very well that if he loses his job, he's got nowhere else to go. I was going to tell that man how unlucky I was. There's a line in the movie No Country for Old Men that goes, you never know what worse luck your bad luck has saved you from. We're all lucky in one way or another. Lucky to be alive, lucky to breathe, lucky to have family and friends who love and care for us. And if people like AK could live in gratitude, I think we all can. So the next time you feel unlucky, you might just want to say, I'm still here, ain't I? Thank you, and back to you, TMoD Deep.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Joy. That was a very touching speech indeed. Can we have a thunderous round of applause for Toastmaster Joy? And let us look back that we are lucky to be here, and also lucky to be Indians. As per the proceedings of the show, I would like to share a little bit more about Lakshmi Mittal. Lakshmi Mittal holds the record for the most expensive wedding held. It was held for his daughter, Vanisha, and the total amount spent was approximately $60 million US. Now, this is back in 2004, when petrol was 30 rupees. The guests were welcomed in the Bollywood style by the actor Shah Rukh Khan. And in 2005, the very next year, he became the third richest person in the world. It's not that he has spent all his fortune away, making him the first Indian citizen to be ranked in the top 10 in the publication's annual list of world's richest people. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Joy. I wish you the very best of luck and hope to see a lot more speeches from you soon. Now, moving ahead, we had a set of fantastic prepared speeches, but in life, we are not always lucky, as Toastmaster Joy says, to be prepared. Sometimes we have to live in our own myopia and make sense out of it all. So to help us prepare for the unprepared, we have a table topic master, Toastmaster Misha D'Souza. Zoom master, can we please spotlight Toastmaster Misha? A very good afternoon, Toastmaster Misha.
Good afternoon, Deep. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, before we let the stage to you, I would like to ask a question to you as well. So as per the wish board, let us see where we are. So Toastmaster Misha, are you ready to play for 2,50,000 Toastmaster wishes?
Yeah.
Question 12. For 2,50,000 Toastmaster wishes on your screen right now. Which of the following is the fastest missile in the world? Which of the following is the fastest missile in the world? Option A, BrahMos, which is used by India. Option B, Yakhont, which is a Russian missile. Option C, Wave Rider, which is used by the United States of America. Or is it option D, Shaojun, which is in service in China?
I guess it's option A, BrahMos.
Final answer. Should I lock option A? Right answer, you will win 2,50,000 Toastmaster wishes. Wrong answer, 50,000. And that's the end of the game. Final answer.
Okay. Okay, you know what?
Option A.
I'd go. No. I'll take a lifeline.
You'll take a lifeline.
Just to be double sure.
Okay. So the only lifeline remaining is Googling 5 words.
Okay.
So I'll just present my screen. You cannot Google on your mobile phone. That's cheating.
Okay.
So what are the 5 words that you would like to search on Google?
Fastest missile.
Fastest missile. You have 3 more words. Maybe you want to search BrahMos?
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Let's see what Google has to say. So it says BrahMos missile flies at a speed of Mach 2.8. And BrahMos missile is the world's fastest, operational in its high class.
Great.
So that's all that you get from Google Baba. So your answer, Toastmaster Misha.
It still remains BrahMos.
Computer Ji, can we lock option A, BrahMos? Indeed, it is the fastest cruise missile in the world. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Misha. And ladies and gentlemen, here we'll take a little bit of a break from the game Who Wants to Be a Patriot-illionaire? And I wish you the very best of luck. Don't go anywhere. Participate in Table Topics. We'll be right back with the last 2 questions in Who Wants to Be a Patriot-illionaire? Over to you, Toastmaster Misha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deep. Peter Marshall had said, may we think of freedom not as a right to do what we please, but as the opportunity to do what is right. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to congratulate Toastmaster Deep on being such a magnificent Toastmaster of the Day. It has been a delightful experience, and especially for the theme he has selected. So kudos for that. My name is Misha D'Souza, and I will be your table topic master for today's meeting. Many times it has occurred to me that people have a plethora of opinions regarding patriotism. By being a table topic master today, I've got an opportunity to explore more of these opinions and perceptions about patriotism. We have seen some fantastic prepared speeches, but in real life, we do not have the luxury of giving a prepared speech. For example, you're in a meeting and your boss suddenly asks you to give an opinion on something. Or you might be asked to say something at a family gathering or at a friend's farewell. How would you feel in that situation? Uncomfortable? The ability to speak confidently and clearly without any preparation is a very vital skill, and it simply comes with practice. At Toastmasters, for the table topic sessions, it allows us to practice our impromptu speaking skill in a safe and a friendly environment. It also gives us an opportunity to everyone who haven't spoken yet. Going by the theme, let us all reflect on our perspective of patriotism. I hope we get to change our myopia regarding our ideas of patriotism, and perhaps listening to the answers might develop some hyperopia regarding the same. Now, let me call the timer for the timing guidelines. Over to you, timer.
Hello, everyone. For the table topics, each speaker is encouraged to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. I will show the green card at the end of, or I can modify it till the end of 1 minute. The yellow card after 1 minute 30 seconds, and the red card at 2 minutes. For each table topic speeches, we have a grace period of 30 seconds only on the upper side of the time limit. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, timer. Okay, so the questions I'm going to ask are pretty philosophical questions, so there is no right or wrong. It's just your opinion. And I'm pretty sure it will help us all to reflect on it and maybe add to what we already think. I would like all of you to please volunteer and take part in the table topic session. If not, then I will have to select randomly from the gathering here. If you wish to participate, please put your name in the chat box and then we can go accordingly. As I'd already received a DM from Manish Pandit, so I think we should start with him. Toastmaster Manish, are you there?
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, Manish.
Good afternoon.
My question to you is very, very simple because it's patriotism. I'd just like to know, what is patriotism to you?
Good afternoon, everybody. What is patriotism to me? I don't think I have found any person in my life to whom I call patriotism. I run a newspaper. So every day I deal with politicians. I am going through rough patch these days. The state where I live, I run a newspaper, the LG, our state, when he joined, he called the media people and he told everybody that in Hindi he said, "Alochna kar sakte ho," that we can criticize. But when this pandemic broke out, people were dying like insects. I published the story in the month of April, and now it's February. It's going to be February. It's January last. For the last 9 months, they have stopped my advertisement. 9 months, and every month I have a loss of 10 lakh rupees. And I have to pay the salary, and they are so ruthless, they are least bothered. On 26th of January, the same man, he was giving the oath to everybody that nobody should trouble anybody, nobody should harass anybody, but he himself is doing. And it's not, I'm talking about my state. My job is to read the news of every place because to get the knowledge. And I keep on doing the analysis. They are all watching now, everybody their own interests. They have no interest. They just want to win the election and they want money, nothing else. And this thing I'm saying because it is my personal experience. I've been running the newspaper for the past 20 years. In our country, another 100 years or so, media will never get freedom to write. There will be no democracy. It is not that I'm the person in my state who's facing this problem. There are many people, there are many newspapers, there are many electronic channels. They are facing the same problem. From the people, those who talk about patriotism. Over to the Toastmaster, please.
Thank you so much, Manish. You have thrown light on a pretty serious issue, and I'm pretty sure we all are aware of it, and those who are not have gotten to know about it. So thank you so much. Have a nice day. Next, we have evaluator Anurag Som. Anurag, my question to you is, how do you think you can show your patriotism in your day-to-day life?
Thank you, Toastmaster. How will I show my patriotism in day-to-day life? See, in my head, patriotism is a very, I think, is a pure word. I coming from a army background, like it's a very black and white thing in my head. Either you are a patriotic for your country or you are not. So, and if you are, it cannot be 10% I am patriotic or 190% or 95%. So coming back to the point, if you are, then it will reflect in your personality in everywhere, not only in day-to-day life, I guess, but yes, in day-to-day life, what I do or what I follow, like I try to respect all the people and work towards the country, towards the growth of the country, in whatever or whichever way I can contribute towards my country. So example, if I'm walking on the road, I see people littering, throwing whatever they have, suppose they're eating and throwing the plates, paper plates in the market. So I go and collect it and put it in the dustbin, and even tell them, sometimes I go and tell them and confront them that what you did is not right and this is not how you are supposed to do. I'm not into politics, so I cannot talk about anything about politics, but in day-to-day life, this is what I do. And I think everyone should follow this. Like we are staying in Bombay, so beaches, if you go to any of the beach, now everything, most of the beaches are clean, they are doing some work. So I do and try to contribute, and I go and clean those beaches, like with the team of people, not alone, of course. So this is how and what I do in day-to-day life. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for the lovely answer. So you have very beautifully told us that being a responsible citizen is the best way to show your patriotism towards your country. So thank you so much, Anurag. Moving on, have a nice day, by the way. Okay, so moving on, now we have Toastmaster Tanvi. Tanvi, my question to you is, would you like to share a quote or a phrase or any song that is related to patriotism which inspires you?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, sorry, Table Topics Master. It's quite an interesting question. Now that I think of it, I can't think of any quote, off the top of my head that comes to me when you ask out of the blue. But if I take the liberty to make up a quote on my own, I would say that patriotism is not a choice, it is a way of life. So if we do whatever we are expected to do in our day-to-day lives, for instance, it's not necessary that it's not possible also that each one of us would go to the border, lay down our lives, although we would definitely love to, and we do look up to people who have that, who've written a check with the maximum amount being up to their life itself. We would be honored to be one of those, but not all of us can be. But even as civilians, just as Toastmaster Anurag mentioned, not littering, not spitting. As a citizen, we are constantly ambassadors of our country. So whatever we are doing, we always are aware of the fact that we are Indians, and whatever our the image that we portray of ourselves is the image that we are going to show of India to anybody who's observing us as an outsider. So patriotism is the way of life that we actually lead. And every single day that we are doing our work, if we are doing it with integrity, if we are doing it with the absolute honesty and dedication, with complete sincerity, we are doing a service to the nation. You may be a doctor, you're doing great service to the nation. You may be a teacher, you're building minds, you're molding the future. You may be a software engineer, you're building something that everybody can use, everybody can benefit from, save their time, upgrade themselves through. Or you may be an editor like me. You're not really, I don't think I'm giving a lot to society by editing somebody's English, but I do hope to ensure that the meaning of whatever the writer wants to convey gets conveyed the best through my little efforts. So in every little thing that we do, we are doing a service to the people around us, to the nation. And like they say, there's no need to light 1,000 candles. Even one little candle can bring a lot of light into the darkness. So patriotism is a way of life. That's the quote I would endorse. Over to you, Toastmaster.
That's lovely. Thank you so much for this beautiful answer. Moving on, I would like to now call Sergeant of Arms, Akash Soni. Akash, my question to you is, what is your ideal way of being patriotic? Ideal way of being patriotic.
Yeah, thanks, Table Master of the Day. So the ideal way of patriotic for your country. So it does not simplify that a person who goes to the border, or persons who work in the defense are the patriotic, and the persons who are civilians who work, they are not patriotic. My point of view is that, for example, if anyone who's working for the country, not for the country, for his family, for his societies, by honesty and hard working, for example, he's running a shop of tea stall for his bread and butter, but he's doing a kind of service to the people who is surrounding to them. So someone maybe that if he's going to earn something, maybe amount for the annual, then he will add a tax amount for the nation, and it is going to benefit not to the forces in terms of purchasing the arms and weapons, but also to the infrastructure and other things. The second thing is that the people who comes boldly and says that we are the more patriotic, but somehow they are more starved or hunger towards the power, not towards the welfare of the nation or the welfare of the society. So they are not ideal patriotic. These are the peoples who are going to deplete or going to ruin the nations in longer time, I can say. So from my point of view, I would like to say that the people who are working hard, who are honest with their work, with their ethics, and the people who want to change, whether it is in their homes, whether it's in their states or societies, they are the people who are the ideal patriotic to their nation. That is from my side. Over to you, Table Topic Master of the Day.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Akash, for this beautiful answer. We have amongst us a few guests. So I can see guest Shweta. Shweta Joshi, are you there with us? Shweta? Okay, I cannot get a response from her. Okay, Vikesh. Hi, Vikesh.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Would you like to take part in the table topic?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Okay, lovely. So my question to you is, do you think patriotism is important?
Oh, I think that's a pretty yes/no answer. I'll try to see if I can talk something on that. So, given the question, is patriotism important? I think up to a certain extent, yes, it is. Because nation as an identity is something that is far beyond you, me, or even the citizens of the country. It's more of an idea. Whether it's India today, or whether it's the Mughal Empire back in the days, or whether it's the British Empire in the mid-19th century. Each of these called themselves as nations, and each of them were a kind of an idea that said that anyone who participates in that idea has to belong to that greater version of themselves. So I think this is what patriotism is to identify yourself with something that is much, much greater than you individually or the few people that are around you. And that is the reason why patriotism has such great meaning, such deep value in people's lives, is because when they do something in the name of patriotism, they're not doing it for themselves, but for something that is much bigger than them. I'd like to quote some instances from Shivaji Maharaj's biography, which says that every Mawla in his army was acting in such a manner that each of them have the responsibility of protecting all the forts that are supposedly under Swaraj. So Swaraj back then was a nation for them, as an identity for them. So patriotism for them was more of being able to have their own actions aligned towards having a common cause, a common goal for the entirety of that idea. So yes, I think patriotism is important, because only when we attach ourselves to some higher cause, that is when we kind of able to bring out the best in ourselves, the deeper potentials that lie within us. Because as long as we're just working for ourselves, we are more like not so focused, and we often allow ourselves to slack. But yes, when things like patriotism drive us, we definitely surpass our potentials and often achieve higher versions of our own selves. So yes, I'd like to conclude saying patriotism is important.
That was a beautifully framed, very, very well answered question, answer to my question. So thank you so much. That was very nice of you to speak so well, and even bring in that historical element in your question. It was very nice.
Thanks.
Moving on, we have Sachin. Sachin, my question to you is, how can you improve patriotism?
Okay. Surely. So, so my question is, question being asked to me is how we can improve the patriotism. So patriotism is not a word, basically, or not kind of any sentiment or emotional feeling that gives you boost to love your country or something like that. There should be practical aspect to patriotism. How we can do, how I can do, instead of like bringing picture others, first what I can do for my countrymen, how I can serve my country. So the task is not little, or you can say that can be achievable within a year or so. So I need to think from my perspective, like what way I can contribute to my country, rather than country, how I can contribute to my house, my society. So as Tanvi said in her speech, like as a software engineer or whatever profession you are doing, right, you can generally do the steps which are in your hand. Like I can write a better code, I can contribute my knowledge with the software to society. So as we see overall status of the India, there are many people who are generally lack of many things, right? So some people are not getting drinking water, some people are not having any sources to raise or generate income. So we can contribute our few cents to them and help them to get to the level where we think that now they are self-sufficient for themselves. So I think improving patriotism is a best way to think of that in a practical way, what you can do for that, and start contributing from the right moment where you are at this moment. So over to you, Misha. That's one. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sachin. That was a very nice answer you gave. Moving on, we have our counter, Walter. After Walter, we'll have Vishal. Okay, so Walter, my question to you is, name one person whose patriotism has inspired you or changed your perception about patriotism, or tell us about that person.
Okay, so so Misha, I don't think I will able to name one person for that. Basically, Mahatma Gandhi, I found it earlier days when I come across the Mahatma Gandhi. I found it the way he did everything. Like there was one story, like whenever he is having a glass of water, he will not throw it out after consuming half. He will keep it with him and then he will reuse it. So that's the way he was living the life. There was one mom come to him for advice. Her daughter or son was eating sugar and all and wanted to give away that habit. So he stopped eating sugar for 1 month and so on. Then he gave that advice to him. So I think these are the qualities where then Sane Guruji and all other things. Then whenever I come across the Subhash Chandra Bose, and also their contribution and their patriotism is at different levels. So there are so many ways. So first point is that according to me, whatever you do it with honesty and utmost integrity. That is the first part. Second part is that as once Narayan Murthy has said, whatever you do it legally and ethically. I think once you are starting doing that, your all actions will fall in line with the what so called as patriotism. Beyond that, whatever I think is that just don't limit to the patriotism like as your way of life, because at a certain stage you will be like more towards the patriotism that you might be doing injustice to someone else. He could be out of your country, he could be some foreigner, this thing. So your identity should not be limited to within your country. Though your patriotism is good, you are proud of something is good, but that should not harm to the other people. You will have to be very careful about that, and the right balance has to be maintained. That's my viewpoint about it. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Misha. You are on mute, Misha.
I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Walter, for that beautifully beautiful answer. And to be very honest, it has actually tried to learn a lot from your answer, and it has actually taken me back to the days when I used to read history just for the heck of it. But now we actually try to learn from what has happened in history. So thank you so much for that. Now we have evaluator Vishal with us. Vishal, my question to you is the simplest one. Do you think you are a patriot? And if you do, why do you think so?
Thank you, Table Topic Master Misha. So I would like to definitely think that I'm a patriot. However, the definition, as we have seen in all these discussions, is everyone has their own perspective, and in my own way, in our own way, we all contribute to, in some level or the other. And there are a few instances. For example, I can share one or two of them wherein we teamed up as our office colleagues, and we went to the Jew beach and we did a cleanup exercise over there. And it was so good that we were about 20 people or so, and seeing us, the regular walkers who were there on the beach, even they came, a few of them started and joined us. And so it's actually taking a step. And we normally have this perception that why should I do that? And everyone has the same thought going on. But collectively, if we all come together and just take that one step ahead, and you can imagine maybe lakhs or crores of people just taking that one step ahead, you can just go so much forward, just taking one step, each and every one of us. So yeah, with this, I would like to hand it back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Vishal. Thank you so much. That was well said. Okay, so the last question for my table topic session goes to Ritik. Ritik, my question to you is, if a person goes out of the country and speaks ill about the country, or not just ill, actually criticizes what is actually wrong with the country, and that person is being trolled. So what do you think is wrong? Where is patriotism in this whole scenario?
I'll start with the thing we shouldn't troll that person. Rather than we should seize the passport of his or her. Because the reason is the place where you're born, you got everything, you got your life and you lived there. You shouldn't disrespect that thing because country comes first. Suppose you're born in Afghanistan or some other country, how would you feel there? By God's grace, you should feel good about you born in India. And that should be always at the topmost priority. The reason of saying this, because it might happen like that with that person, there could have been some bad instances in the country, but it doesn't mean he will disrespect the country. Rather than he should try to change that thing in the country, rather than going for the criticism outside the country. Because if you're speaking outside the country and some bad words about the country, that comes in the spotlight for everyone. and that should never happen. And my personal observation is like, if someone is doing wrong, you should come up with the changes, how you can improve on that, and troll that thing, how you can improve that, rather than trolling someone for something bad. Because we should take opinions of everyone in the country. That's what I feel. And there are some instances I know, like someone got a loan from the banks and they went to the London or some place. That's a very bad thing, because they are doing something which is not good for the country, because that money came from the citizen of India's. So that's the thing. And over to you, table topic master Misha.
Thank you so much for that interesting take on the instance. Thank you so much, Ritik. So this was my time as a table topic master. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating actively in this session. I really enjoyed all the answers, and it was really nice to see that all of us actually think the same. And I'm pretty sure this makes me very happy to be among responsible patriots in this country. So thank you so much. Now I would hand over the mic to Timer, so to give us the timer.
Hello everyone. So for the table topic session, Manish timing was till 2 minutes 15 seconds. Anurag 2 minutes 13 seconds. Tanvi 2 minutes 39 seconds, which was a little bit over. Akash 1 minute 56 seconds. Vikesh 2 minutes 21 seconds. Sachin 1 minute 54 seconds. Walter 2 minutes 3 seconds. Vishal 1 minute 19 seconds. And Ritik 1 minute 42 seconds. So that were the table topic sessions timings. And I suppose that the prepared speeches timings were left. So in the prepared speeches, Angelbert took 7 minutes 25 seconds. Mugdha took 6 minutes 42 seconds, 12 minutes overtime. Ritik took 9 minutes, the maximum time, and Joy took 6 minutes 45 seconds. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Timer. Are we having the poll right now?
Yeah, so can we confirm like who is qualified and who is not qualified for the table topics?
Timer?
Yeah, sure. Except Tanvi, everyone is qualified. Manish, Anurag, Akash, Vikesh, Sachin, Walter, Vishal, and Ritik.
Okay. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much. Can we launch the polls quickly?
Yeah, we can start from the prepared speeches.
Sure. Request you to launch the polls for the prepared speeches. Thank you. Request one and all to please vote for the best prepared speech that was given today. The polls are on your screen right now. Poll master, let me know when the polls have been ended and when you are to launch another poll.
The polls are done, Deep, so we can launch another poll.
Sure. Request you to launch the other poll as well for the members. Can we have the poll for the best table topic speaker? Thank you. Request you to vote for the best table topic speech in today's meeting. Poll master, once again, let me know when the polls are done.
Toastmaster Deep, polls are done.
Okay, thank you so much, poll master, Toastmaster Ritik. And before we move on to the last section, I would now like to ask the people who did not speak to participate in the Who Wants to Be a Patriot-illionaire. So I believe Sachin, you were there in the meeting. Can we have you on video? Yes, Zoom Master, can we spotlight Sachin? Okay, so Toastmaster Sachin.
Yes.
I will present my screen right now. And sure. Before going to the next section, I would just like to shed some light on the BrahMos missile. So BrahMos is the fastest anti-ship cruise missile currently in operation. The land-based and the ship-based versions are already in service, and an air-launched version has appeared in 2012 and entered service 2 years ago in 2019. It's currently in service with the Indian Army, the Indian Navy, and the Indian Air Force. So in terms of defense, we have one of the best weapons in the world. That's something to be really proud of. Okay, Toastmaster Sachin, let's look at the wish board where we are. I hope you are able to hear the sound as well, or I'll represent.
Yes. No. The question sound is not there. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Let me just go back and reshare the sound, because that takes away the surprise. Okay, Toastmaster Sachin. Question 13. For 5 lakh Toastmaster wishes. Are you ready?
Yes, Toastmaster Deep.
Question 13. For 5 lakh Toastmaster wishes. On your screen right now. Which television show holds the record for the longest single shot episode in history? Option A, TMoD. Option B, Friends. Option C, Mr. Bean. Or is it option D, Game of Thrones?
Well, I'm not completely aware of the answer about this question, and I believe we don't have any kind of a lifeline as well, right?
You have one last lifeline, which is Ask the Expert. Which is
sorry, which one?
Ask the Expert. That's the only lifeline remaining. Right answer, 5 lakh Toastmaster wishes. Wrong answer, 2,50,000. That's the end of it. You can ask the expert.
I have guess on CID, but I would like to ask you the expert. Toastmaster Deep.
Okay. So in this case, I am the expert. So I would like to answer.
Sure.
I think it was CID, because in CID, I remember in my childhood it was 1 hour and 14 minutes, and I used to wonder why Tom and Jerry was not streamed that particular day, because my parents were watching CID. I would say ACID is a guess.
I would like to go with the expert advice.
Okay. Computer G, can we log option A, CID, please? Indeed, that is the right answer, Toastmaster Sachin. Thank you so much.
Thank you, expert. Yeah.
Thank you. Moving ahead to the final section of this Toastmasters meeting. To conduct the final session, we have a general evaluator and the presiding officer, Toastmaster Sudha Warrior. Zoom Master, can we please spotlight Toastmaster Sudha Warrior? A very good afternoon, Toastmaster Sudha.
Good afternoon, Toastmaster of the day.
As it goes with the tradition, let me share my screen, and I would like to ask the final question to you. But before that, shedding some light on CID. CID got into both the Limca Book of Records and the Guinness Book of Records on 7th November 2007 for its record-breaking single-shot episode of 111 minutes. So that is 1 hour and 51 minutes, almost 2 hours, entitled Inheritance. Imagine us giving a 5-minute speech. They gave an entire episode for 2 hours. This special episode was shot between 6:30 and 8:20 p.m. on 8th of October 2014 at Lonavala and was aired on 7th November 2004 without a break from 8 to 10 p.m. and is still unbroken in both of these records. So, moving ahead, let's look at the wish board where we are. Toastmaster Sudha. Final question for 1 crore Toastmaster wishes. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Let me remind you, all the lifelines have been exhausted.
Sure.
Final question, question 14 for 1 crore Toastmaster wishes on your screen right now. Which is the fastest growing economy in the world? Option A, India. Option B, the United States of America. Is it option C, China? Or is it option D, Japan? I can't hear you, Toastmaster Sudha. No, can you unmute and mute yourself once again? You can just do A for option B, A, or you can just write your answer in the chat box. Anything is fine. Toastmaster Sudha?
She has given the answer in chat.
Toastmaster Sudha, you have chose option A. Is this your
Yes.
final answer?
I don't have a choice.
Right answer, you win the game. Wrong answer, 5 lakh Toastmaster wishes, and you did not answer a patriotic question. Final answer, is it A?
Yes, it is A.
Computer G, can we please lock option A for the game and 1 crore Toastmaster wishes? Indeed, it is A. That's the right answer. And Mumbai Speakers, Toastmasters Club, and all the role players have indeed won this game. So before we go ahead, may I please request Toastmaster Sudha to be and continue as the general evaluator. So over to you, Toastmaster Sudha Warrior.
Well, thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Deep. I think for a minute, I was literally visualizing myself in the hot chair and having Mr. Bachchan in front of me. And you actually gave me a very close feeling of that with your striped shirts, as I said in the beginning. And thank you so much, Toastmaster Deep. I think I have a lot to say about today's meeting. So let me get on with the ordeals of my role today. The general evaluator is the person who actually gives a feedback on the meeting, on the different role players, as well as anything which can be improved for us to be better for the next meeting. So to start with my objectives of the role, I would like to call upon the timer first to read the timing objectives for the evaluations, please.
Hello everyone, once again. For the speech evaluation, each evaluator has 2 to 3 minutes. I will show the green card till 2 minutes 30 seconds. The yellow card will be shown after 2 minutes 30 seconds and the red card at 3 minutes. For speech evaluation, we have a grace period of 30 seconds on either side of the time limit. I will present the time limit when called upon by the general evaluator. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rishikesh. So to start the evaluation part of today's meeting, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Glenn to conduct the evaluation for the speech of Toastmaster Engelbert. Over to you, Toastmaster Glenn.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sudha. Can I see the timer screen? Thank you. Toastmaster Engelbert, your path says innovative planning, but you, my friend, come across as a motivational speaker. You had a thought in mind, and then you broke that down into 3 different topics. Your message was clear, and you explained how we should follow along those lines. With regards to the speech, I think your presentation skills were bang on. What I really liked was your ability to actually have a conversation with the audience rather than narrate a speech. So I think that was great. The examples that you shared, the reason why I say motivational speaker, you go to YouTube, you look at all these fabulous people who have accomplished things in life. And then again, you connect with someone who you know at our level. That message which you were delivering, right? I think that was just, the connection with the audience, like celebrating when you pass. I can relate to that. Okay, being complacent, I can relate to that. And I'm sure a lot of us on the call can. So that's why I say motivational. When you started off the speech, you inculcated a couple of sentences or a couple of things from the ongoing meeting, the examples that you referred to when you spoke about that's what I'm talking about. I get that that was impromptu, and this itself was being beyond myopic, because I think that was not a part of your speech, but then you kind of somewhere made it up and brought it into your speech. So that talks about presence of mind. And if I'm going to talk about some things which, the opening, like for instance, I think there was a little bit of fumbling. Here's what I would like to say on that particular front. Toastmaster Deep introduced the title of the speech. Okay, get set go. And then I heard the title of the speech being repeated twice in the first 1 minute of the opening of that particular speech. So I would say, don't repeat things unless they are kind of dire necessary. That was the kind of only observation that I actually had. If you want to look at something wherein you can challenge yourself, like I said, going impromptu was really being very brave. I really like that. And I think, in life, as much as you prepare, you should always have that ability to go impromptu wherever required. So continue that particular skill wherein, work on that and continue to implement that, so that I'm sure your next few speeches or in real life scenarios as well, it will only help you. So thank you, and look forward to hearing more speeches from you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Glenn, for that very useful evaluation on Engelbert's literally motivational speech. Now we go to the next evaluator, Toastmaster Vishal, who's also opening his account for his evaluations, the first one. And he will be evaluating another person who's opened her account on the speech section, which is Toastmaster Mukta. So Toastmaster Vishal, over to you for the evaluation of Toastmaster Mukta's speech.
Sure. Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Sudha. So, Toastmaster Mukta, congratulations for delivering such a touching icebreaker speech. You started off with your school story and how you were a bit of a reserved girl. I feel a few of us could relate to your school story, because I feel that some of the school incidents are a trailer of the movie to come in our life ahead, be it with people or be it the incidents. I believe you mentioned how you tried to overcome the challenges by taking part in various activities like singing, sports, and teaching. And I especially liked the part where you mentioned how you actually started teaching at the NGOs. And also the other part where you mentioned that you even visited the tribal areas and you started to make a difference in their lives. I believe that's like really commendable. I don't really know anyone who's actually gone to like, tribal areas and do that. So like kudos to you for doing that. With all the instances that you mentioned in your speech, one thing that I loved about your speech is how you continuously challenge yourself in every situation and kept working on yourself. At times, it may just be myopic about certain situations, but we just need to look at it from a holistic perspective. We see that you are in the final year of graduations, and congratulations again for landing on with a job in your placement. All in all, a really good job with the speech as well. As a feedback, all I can say is Toastmaster Mukta, you've already broken the ice, and from now on, the only way is up. I wish you all the best for your future speeches ahead as well. Thank you. And back to you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Sudha.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vishal, for that very warm and constructive feedback to Toastmaster Mukta. We go on to the next evaluator, who will be Toastmaster Anurag, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Ritik's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Anurag.
Thank you, General Evaluator Sudha. Toastmaster Ritik, you have the potential to be anything you want, and true leader is the one who unlocks the potential to others. And I could see this in your speech, leadership style and my style. You involve the audience along with you in your speech at the beginning, which is the best way to get the attention. They say in first 3 seconds, you can either engage or distract the attention of the audience. So you have done a well job done there at that in those 3 seconds. Well explain the definition of all kind of leadership style and your leadership style, which is democratic, authoritative, and coaching. First, I would start by saying that you appeared confident and comfort level was great. You even excelled in this, which was clearly visible and in line with your speech and leadership style. Well narrated the incident of your college where you saw the spark and will in a person which nobody could see and took the risk by nominating him. And he delivered exactly what you thought about him, and he did prove everyone wrong. Second incident of the cricket match and the way you led your team was again a great example of great leader. Both were classic example of a great leadership style, and you reminded me of the phrase, leaders are born, not made. I really enjoyed those two real life incidents you mentioned, and I must say that these qualities are indeed in line with your leadership style. The language was clear and easily understood. Vocal variety where your speed and volume was controlled. You used physical gesture effectively. Eye contact was perfect. So overall, it was good. Before I close my evaluation, I must say you delivered an excellent speech. You narrated real life example where you showed that you are born with leadership quality. You always chose the harder right rather than the easier wrong. As a feedback, just take care of time. All in all, it was very nice and well delivered speech. Over to you, General Evaluator Sudha.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anurag. I'm sure Ritik is going to work on the speech to get to greater heights after your feedback. Thank you so much. Now we go on to the evaluation of our last speaker, who will be who's Toastmaster Joy, and this will be delivered by Toastmaster Tanvi. Over to you, Toastmaster Tanvi.
A great speaker is somebody who can make you think, but a truly amazing speaker is somebody who can make you introspect while making you laugh. And today I think Toastmaster Joy ticked all the boxes when it came to a fantastic, motivational, thought-provoking, inspiring story, and one that also had dashes of humor. So let me break down the 3 things that I really, really loved about your speech. The first, the objective of the speech was beautifully met. You had to tell a story through the speech, and I think you segued beautifully by giving some anecdotes, some really relatable stories of people who get luckier than you without deserving to, or people who are unlucky. So those little quirky quips made me think about what you were going to say, and then you segued into the story, not the typical let me tell you a story, but introducing the character. The second thing I loved was how beautifully you developed that character. So initially, when you started off talking about Mr. AK, I wondered what was going to be so special about him. But then you brought in the so many different struggles that he was going through, and yet managing to keep a positive side to life. The voice modulation there, where you showed how how Mr. AK would be speaking, that added to the pathos of the story, and really a beautiful touch. And the third thing I loved was that you gave a brilliant message throughout the speech, and then you developed upon it in your conclusion, where you told us that whenever you are feeling unlucky, you might actually be way luckier than what you believe you are. And the anecdote from the movie, that bad luck might actually be preventing so much worse luck. So that was a wonderful fitting conclusion to your story, which brought it to a beautiful full circle. Now I have to give you certain recommendations because of the Toastmasters requirements. So I think I will stick to one main recommendation, which was that the background came across as a little distracting to me. I know that not everybody can have the the real background, but it came across as a little distracting, especially when you were showing those hand gestures, which blurred a bit. So that was one little recommendation, if you could try just blurring it out or having a plain background. And secondly, I felt that you ended the speech a little too early. Could you perhaps have added a few more quotes, a little more of the humor to it? You know, the way you began, which there was a lot of humor right at the beginning. There was not as much humor. I understand it's a little serious tone that you were trying to take, but perhaps ending on a bit of a humorous note, that when you feel you are an unlucky fool, you are actually doing pretty well. So that could have been perhaps added upon, but that does not detract from the fact that it was a brilliant speech, and I feel I was really lucky to be here listening to you today. With that, over to you, Toastmaster General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tanvi, on that brilliant evaluation on a very brilliant, motivating, inspiring speech by Joy. Thank you. So, since the time is not in our favor today, I would like to run into the proceedings of the general evaluation. The meeting started on time. The tag role players were introduced very beautifully. So that comes to the Toastmaster of the day, who made a big difference to today's meeting. If he had a myopic view to the aspect of conducting a very normal Toastmasters meeting, we wouldn't have witnessed something like this today. So let us all put our hands together and give an applause to Toastmaster of the Day, who gave us such a different angle and perspective to conduct a Toastmasters meeting along with such a great theme. So Deep, you've again, like in Ritik's term, hit a sixer on this, and congratulations to you for that. Log kiya jaye that we can conduct a KBC in a Toastmasters meeting, and actually this can happen only in Mumbai Speakers Toastmasters Club. So congratulations to us all for this. I think if we would have probably highlighted a little bit more on this poster about the way you're going to conduct, which would have let go a little bit of the thunder out of the meeting, but then people would have actually come and wanted to know what's really happening in this today's meeting. Anyway, I tried to do that with the guest group, and I think some people did join us after that. So wonderful theme, wonderfully woven, and I personally think that you have done 10 out of 10 on this. So congratulations to that. And also we got our patriotism dose, I think an overdose, because we also had Walter sharing a little bit of patriotism feelings before the Republic Day. And we had a hangover of the Republic Day patriotism with Toastmaster Deep talking about his patriotism in a very unique manner, carried on with the Toastmaster Table Topics Master, who also gave us a philosophical angle to patriotism. So I think we all have those feelings upsurge in our hearts. Keep it alive and keep it going. And that's a very positive feeling. I didn't get a chance to share my thoughts on patriotism, but I personally think patriotism is about feeling proud about your own. That is the most important thing for me. It can start with your family, it can start with your neighborhood, your community, the country, and even the world. So I think personally, if that positive feeling is curbed, then it's going to be a problem for human evolution. So personally, I think patriotism is a very positive feeling for humanity. It doesn't depend upon who's our leader. It doesn't depend upon who's the party who's ruling the world, but it is about feeling good about what you have, where you come from. Thank you so much. So on that, the next part of the meeting was about the prepared speeches. The prepared speeches were, again, I think a paradigm of shifts from starting from the college student like Mukta and Glenn, Engelbert, who had a very inspirational speech about how he was wanting to come out of the ordinary to do some extraordinary things for the community around. And Ritik, in his usual unique style, wanted to convey how his leadership style is different from few other people around of his generation. And yes, we landed up with the most inspiring speech by our Toastmaster Joy. So in Toastmasters, you actually get a mix of different topics, different emotions coming out from different generations. Imagine coming from a college outgoing kid to a person who's actually looking at life and what it has to offer in such a beautiful way. So Toastmasters is the only place where you get this curry, this tasty curry of different spices blended together to give us a complete meeting. And today's meeting was one of that. Now, for this great meeting that we had today, is there anything that we could have done to improve ourselves? Just a few of them, yeah? Before I get on to the improvements, I would like to call upon the tag role reports so that then I can conclude with my recommendations. Timer, can you please share your timing report for the evaluations?
Yeah. So Glenn took 3 minutes 12 seconds. Vishal 1 minute 55 seconds. Anurag Som 2 minutes 37 seconds, and Tanvi 3 minutes 20 seconds. And everyone will qualify. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rishikesh. I go on to the R counter to be sharing the R counter report, please.
Sure. Give me 1 sec. I'm just. So I hope my screen is visible. Hello.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, sorry. So we'll start with the role player. So Akash Saurav, couple of pauses in his starting SAR role. Then Sudha madam has got 5 hours and 1 hour and 2 repeated words. Then Deep was really flawless throughout the thing. It is very hard to pick up the these words basically. But I found the Deep was flawless throughout the thing. There was 1 so, that's it. Then Rishikesh has 2 hours, 1 hour and 1 pause. Then Jubin has got 1 hour. Then prepared speeches, we have Engelbert having 4 hours, 1 then 3 filler phrases, 3 filler phrases, and he was like 5 times and the repeat words or a couple of times. Then Mugdha, more than 5 times the filler words and filler phrases are also more than 5 times, 1 repeat words. Then Ritik was 3 filler words and 1 repeat words. Joy was again flawless. Misha, again 2 filler words, no filler phrases. Manish Gupta, flawless. Anurag, 3 filler words and 3 filler phrases. Tanvi, this is for table topic, sorry. So Tanvi took 2 filler words. Then Akash, 2 filler words and 1 filler phrase. Vishal Mehta, 3 filler words and 1 filler phrase. Sachin, filler words more than 5 and filler phrase 2. Walter Crasto, again, I know I have taken more than 5 times hours, so I just put over there. So sorry, it was Vikesh M and then Vishal Mehta, 2 filler words and 8 filler phrases. Rishikesh Sharma, 3 filler words and 1 filler phrase. Then we'll move on to the regarding the evaluation and the reading of the objectives, both combined. So Glenn Smith took 5 plus R's and then 2 times arms and 1 filler phrase. Vishal Mehta, 2 times filler word and 2 times filler phrases. Anurag, 3 times filler words. And then finally the Tanvi, 6 times filler word and 1 time filler phrase. That's it from me, over to you. And that's the overall total.
Our counter report. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Now I go on to the grammarian to share their grammarian report, please. Thank you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I'll start with the incorrect usages. One of the speakers used everything happens for a good, whereas it should have been everything happens for good. Going to sleep hunger, going to sleep hungry. The speaker went on to say busy with our talks, which could have been phrased as converse or have a conversation with friends. Of the children could have been phrased as teaching underprivileged kids. One of our speakers used I can compensate seniors, but not for the juniors. Your message here was where it could have been phrased in a better manner. Another one was that is worth it. You can identify what you mean, and in front of that you can add is worth it, or you can say it is worth it instead of saying that is worth it. One of the speakers used injustice as a word, which is incorrect. It should be injustice. One of the speakers, the word ordeal was used, which means a very unpleasant and prolonged experience, which was used incorrectly, the word ordeal. One of the speakers used gone to tribal areas, could be phrased as I do not know anyone who has visited tribal areas. Unlocks the potential in others, could be unlocks the potential in others. Some of the correct usages of grammar. One of the Toastmasters used knew of each other, but we didn't really know each other. You never know what worse luck your bad luck has saved you from, was one of the quotes from the movies. Then a word which is pathos was used by one of the speakers, which is a quality that evokes pity or sadness. One of the speakers used, I'll get back to that later. So I'll come to the word of the day. A lot of our seasoned Toastmasters use the word of the day. Toastmaster Deep, Engelbert, Tanvi, Joy, Misha, Sudha, and Glenn use the word of the day. But the context was a little, the word was not properly used in the context which is supposed to. So I would request each and every one of the attendees to try and inculcate this word in the coming week in your sentences or in your conversations. I would like to end with one incorrect phrase that was given, which is leaders are born, not made. But we all are here to be made because we were not born. So over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jubin, for those wonderful insight of the right and the wrong usage of grammar. Yes, we are all here to be made good leaders. Otherwise, we would have not been here. Great thought on that. So I just want to go through okay, there is a poll here. Let's finish with that. So I just want to go now ahead with the improvements for today's meeting, which is I would start with the usage of the word myopic, which was shared by the grammarian. Maybe the grammarian could have put it in the chat more often. Like, it was not shared like 2 or 3 times during the time of the speech, because sometimes what happens, people forget to look at the chat and they forget to. So if you have a reminder, maybe that could be a good way for them to be reminded to use the word in their speech. The music was a little too loud in the quiz session. I don't know if you could have handled that a little better, because we couldn't hear, not only in my case, even the other people, they had to probably talk over the music which was going on in the quiz. But I know, Deep, you have done a wonderful job to create that quiz. So I'm definitely not going to give that as any negative feedback, but that just kind of was a little bit of a glitch, but kudos to that. You've taken so much effort. I think we really need to understand how you did this after the meeting. The other thing is videos, guys, please. The least that we can do is put on our videos, because we are all here to give encouragement to everybody. Please put on the videos as much as possible. I know we will have few things in between to attend to, go to, get up, go to the washroom or whatever. But then as much as possible, I think a 90% of the time, let's try to be on video and encourage the people, because everybody has taken effort to come here and deliver their speeches. So that's the least that we can do. The other thing is the timer. Now, timer needs to mention the time required for each section before the section starts. So maybe we can be a little mindful about that. We did have a little correction when we had to call in for the timer for the second section, if I'm not mistaken. The next one is the spotlighting. Now, spotlighting also is something where we got a little bit not correctly. There was a little bit of glitch in that. I think the role of the Zoom master should be to make sure that the spotlight is monitored every time the events are changed in the meeting, so that there is a smooth transition. The other thing is about the introduction of the speakers. Now, the TMoD definitely has to introduce the evaluator first and then the speaker. So what usually happens, now this is something which happens in most of the Toastmasters meeting, we do get a little carried away to try and reveal the Toastmaster who's going to be giving the speech at the time when we are introducing the evaluator. Just be a little mindful about that, because then we keep the time appropriateness when the introduction can be done, because the speaker is the person who needs the limelight, who needs all the attention. So when you've diluted it with the Toastmaster who's going to be doing the evaluation, by the time you come to the speaker, little bit of that thunder is taken away. That's one thing, and that's why Toastmasters has that formal way of doing the introduction. Let's try and follow that to keep it up. The other thing is table topic introduction. Nisha, you did a wonderful job on your table topics today. You gave us a very good insight, a very philosophical perspective, and you didn't hint anything, but you gave a thought which made the person think, because it was not it was not a leading thought, it was not a leading topic. It was something where you left the person to now think and tell me what you think about this topic. So it was a very well crafted topics for the table topic session. Kudos to that. So the only thing I have for you is your introduction part. So when you're introducing, make it very clear that you say the topic and then give it to the speaker, say the speaker's name and say the topic again, because that way then the speaker also, this is what is going to happen in the contests. So in the contest, this is the way the introduction will be made. So it will be a good practice for the speakers to practice remembering and listening to this topic 2 times so that they register what they have to speak later. Polls in the order of sessions, so we don't stall the time. So we try to conduct the poll just after every session. So I think one needs to be mindful about it. Maybe the TMoD can take that responsibility to make, I know you're wearing different hats, but yes, we need to have the TMoD to take that responsibility to introduce the poll, because he is the speaker of the meeting. If there is anything which is going wrong, he can come in and speak, not anybody else. So I think the TMoD should direct that. And lastly, I feel the timer should give the final decision of who is qualified and who's not qualified, because there should be no doubt on when you read the speaker this much time, speaker this much time, whatever you have stated, at the end, just make a sentence saying that this person didn't qualify, the rest of it, which I think you caught up with in the evaluation section. But I think there was a little bit of doubt on the others. So that's why we had to ask you. So other than that, these were the improvements which we can follow up in the next meetings. And it was a wonderful session. I'm sure we all agreed in the aspect of the Toastmaster format. We did great speeches. We had a great table topic session, and we had some guests also joining us today. And overall, the icing on the cake was the format, which was purged for a very positive reason, and we all enjoyed it. So once again, keep allowing the innovation, and we want to do different things in Toastmasters. We don't want to follow just the standard format. So kudos to that Toastmaster of the day once again. Thank you so much for a very action-packed session today. With that, I would like to get on to my role as a presiding officer, if that's okay. Yeah.
Just one second, if I can.
We have any poll
Yeah,
now?
we have a
Okay,
poll.
yeah.
And apart from that, I just have to present the final concluding remarks. I'll not take more than a minute, if that's okay.
Okay, fine.
Request all to please vote for the polls, post which I will present my concluding remarks. Thank you so much. And finally, today, history has been made because 14 role players from Mumbai Speakers Toastmasters Club have proven that they have what it takes to be a patriot-illionaire. Just one last thing I would like to add on India. There is no other way to put it. India is the fastest economy in the world. So that's all I wanted to add. And as a gesture, after every Who Wants to Be a Patriot-illionaire, I have this check that I would like to present to the president of Mumbai Speakers Toastmasters Club as a gesture. Congratulations, Mumbai Speakers Toastmasters Club, on winning 1 crore Toastmaster wishes. I wish you the very best of luck. Please note the account number is the newly opened club current account that we just got opened yesterday. And also, Madam President and the Treasurer, don't cash in this check today because I have put in the date for tomorrow. Otherwise, the check will bounce. So thank you, and back to you, Presiding Officer, Toastmaster Sudha.
Brilliant, Deep. Thank you so much in trying to conclude today's meeting with something which is so important for all of us. Everybody's acknowledgement, everybody's wishes, best wishes and love for the club to grow and be the platform for so many people to become their better version and the best version. So kudos to that, Deep. Thank you so much. And yes, we have opened the account with Federal Bank after 6 months. So I think we need to congratulate even Joy for this great feat. And from now onwards, we will be having the Toastmaster account of Federal Bank, which will be used. That's also a great milestone. Great. So with that, let's get on to the award ceremony, and the awards. So we start with the best auxiliary role player, who is today Toastmaster Jubin. Congratulations, Toastmaster Jubin. Can we have him on spotlight? And also a photograph, please. Yes, I can hear the drum roll as well today. Congratulations. Jubin,
Just 1 second,
you...
if I may take a photograph. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
Yes, please. Jubin, you have something to say about your role, which you did so differently today and totally involved in the role. Did you enjoy? Do you have something to say?
I said that I would focus on the transitions, but during listening to these speeches, it becomes a little difficult, which I was not able to. So I might have to improve on that.
Yeah.
In my speeches as well.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jubin, for giving us those valuable inputs on usage of English as a language. Now we go on to the next next award, which is going to be the Best Evaluator Award. And the Best Evaluator Award goes to our Toastmaster Tanvi. Tanvi, you keep rocking, man. You keep coming to our club meetings and you take away the awards every time. Congratulations. Jokes apart, we really love to listen to your evaluation, because I think it comes straight from the heart, very much original and also constructive for the speaker. Do you have something to say, Tanvi? A quick one?
I'm just overwhelmed. I mean, there's so many great speakers and evaluators here. So it's really an honor to get this award. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure, Tanvi. Thank you so much. Best TT speaker. I mean, I heard this gentleman and I was a little surprised whether he's really a guest or he is actually a Toastmaster. Let us put our hands together to applaud the guest Vikesh for being the best table topic speaker. Congratulations, Vikesh. I think the certificate needs to be changed. Yes. Yes, Vikesh. I mean, I want to hear something about you. We didn't get a chance to get you introduced to us.
Yes, actually, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So first of all, like humble apologies for the delay that I was supposed to join last week. So I am late by a week and 15 minutes for this meeting. So it was really great coming here. My name is Vikesh Morie. I am a cloud consultant in Browser Stack. And I'm basically in business development and artificial intelligence, machine learning. That's more of my domain. I have always been into debates and speeches, but I don't know, somehow, maybe because of this not being in my work or college or university, I was never introduced to this. So I have a few friends who are Toastmasters and club presidents themselves in, let's say, MP. There's one from Delhi and one from Chennai, and these are the ones with whom we have a lot of discussions and conversations on our other debates, like around SEBI or securities, or if it's technology topics, or if it's more about philosophy. So that was my group, and they then forced me that I have to be in some Toastmaster club, wherever it is, whether it's their club or whether it's something near to me. And that is why finally I thought that I was postponing this for quite some time. It's been around 6 months that it's been on my mind, but then some of the other thing keeps coming up and I was delaying and delaying. And finally in the new year, I thought, I think this is one thing that I have to do. I want to make new friends. The COVID has gotten over me and I just want to go out there and find some like-minded people out there. And that is when I reached out to Deep and other club presidents, like the numbers on the Toastmasters International website. So I am starting this journey, and I want to keep visiting clubs and just get a hang of what Toastmasters is, and finally decide on one and start myself as well on this one. So it was great coming here. Awesome.
Thank you so much. And your topic was so much from your heart, and we really loved your knowledge point as well as your originality, and your comfort in delivering the speech was amazing. So well deserved. Congratulations. Hope to see you more at our meetings. Congrats. Yeah.
Thanks.
Can we share the certificate and have a picture with the guest?
The picture has been taken. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Let's go on to the next award, which is Best Prepared Speaker. Any guesses? Everybody is silent, so that means
Toastmaster Joy.
Yes,
Joy.
Toastmaster Joy once again hits the 6. Joy, thank you so much for sharing such a wonderful story. And you know, the best thing I like about your speeches is, like I've told you before, it is so much from the heart. Stir which happens when we listen to your speech, you know, and I feel that it happened this time also. And then you bring back the learning as well. So it's a beautiful way that you construct it. So I think it's not only humor. I think you should also look at inspirational speeches as another forte which you are already good at. Anything to say, share, Joy, because you we really need to know how you craft such beautiful speeches. Just a couple of minutes, couple of seconds.
I just like to keep challenging myself. So humor was not really my forte, and I started writing humorous stories. Again, I wanted to ensure that I do have a range and it's not limited to any one domain per se. So I wanted to also go ahead and bring in the emotional stories. And again, like Tanvi mentioned today, it's all about the pathos and emotional stories, building the character arch, and then being able to go ahead and get some learning out of that as well. Otherwise, you kind of you've left the audience, hanging them there without any closure to their entire story. So it takes a while to be able to go ahead and craft a good story. And I do that, over a period of time. Actually, I don't just do it in one sitting. And every sitting, it's like an improvement over whatever I've written previously. So that's what I do.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Joy. And I want to ask you something off the meeting once. How do you do it? Journaling and all that. Anyway, I'll come to that later. And yes, let's get on to the award of the day, which is for the best of big 3. And it goes to the Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster. Congratulations, Toastmaster Deep. You're really a trendsetter in this aspect. I really thank you for taking us through a wonderful session today. How much time did you take to prepare this meeting?
Actually, I didn't measure, but I was up till 3:30.
Yeah, I saw your last message was at 2:15 on the role players.
Yeah, that was the agenda. So after the agenda, also there were a few tweaks. I did a dry run, so a few animations were not happening correctly. I mean, the right answer was just appearing, and then all the answers were coming. So I would say that would just give it away. And I had to make sure that even the people who don't know, because a lot of times you might not know who is the army chief at that point, so I just wanted to make sure that people know that this is what we can be proud of. It's not just about the contest; it's about being proud of being Indian. So I just had to make those last few changes. So I would say it took more than 2 days, but thank you so much for doing that. Thank you.
It's brilliant.
Which software you use? Sorry.
PowerPoint.
Okay.
I created one slide. I replicated it 57 times. than 2-3 templates. So yeah.
No, there's something more to that, which I think we need to understand how he did it. It was absolutely seamless without any glitches. The music, the transitions, the awards, I mean, it was beautiful. Thank you so much. I think we should try and adopt it for a quiz session next time when we have it in our club. Thank you so much, guys, for a wonderful meeting today. Thanks for all your time. I know your stomachs must be growling for lunch on a weekend. But before I let you go, I want to talk to guest Shweta. Shweta, hi once again. Good to have you here.
Yes, hi. I'm facing some network fluctuations. I think my name was called out and I was not able to join. There is some glitch at my end. However, I was able to stay through and I heard most of the speeches. I am looking to participate in the next round of Toastmasters very soon.
Sure. Thank you so much, Shweta. Looking forward to having you for our next meetings as well. With that, I would like to call the meeting closed. There